Good day, this is Thrygon. I wanted to go over some different ways of doing matchmaking. I'm going to start with Cross-Out just because this is a game that I've been playing a lot lately. But the way that this game does its matchmaking, and don't worry, we will get to the point of this video eventually. Specifically Halo, we'll get there. Its matchmaking is set up in a very simple way, very understandable. Each individual button gets you to a different mission. Now, it's not perfect, don't worry, we'll get to my personal favorite matchmaking system in just a moment, and why I like it. It makes it easy to find matches with specific rewards that you're looking for. For instance, if you wanted scrap, you just get the scrap medal, and you queue up for a match. Makes sense. And then the raids give different materials, and you can kind of tailor what you want to play in a given moment. The only problem that I have with this system is you can't queue up for multiple things at a time. Now, that's understandable, given that this game is produced by, I would imagine, a relatively small company, at least back in the day, and their matchmaking system hasn't really changed since its invention. But with that in mind, it becomes apparent that for a player like me, I like to queue up for multiple things. For instance, they have challenges that specify specific mission types. I've done all of my dailies today, where, say, I wanted to queue up for Get the Wires, but I also wanted to queue up for a raid, but I also want to queue up for, say, normal plastic or normal raids for both copper and plastic. That way, I can tailor my matchmaking experience. Now, it's a wonderful system as it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit tedious sometimes, because you'll end up in a match. And yes, it does save your previous selection as to what battle you want to do. So it works. It really does. And that's where we get into the problems with Halo. Okay, so here we are with Halo. Its matchmaking system is significantly different than Cross-Out. The problem that Halo has at the moment, and something that would be very easily fixed by implementing a system that I'll be going into very shortly, is their matchmaking. Quickplay, for example, is one of the best examples of it. In Quickplay, you have 3 different game modes that you can play on. Excuse me. Technically 5, if I remember correctly. One Flag CTF, CTF, Strongholds, Oddball, and Slayer. Now, this doesn't seem like a bad idea for server's sake, because what you'll have is you'll have people queuing up for this, and then they'll be clumped together into specific playlists that they are interested in. Now, that's not too big of a problem until you introduce this. Their weekly challenges require a very specific game mode be played in order to complete. Sometimes played, sometimes won. Now, this has pissed me off to the nth degree, to the point where I probably won't be playing Halo Infinite in any serious regard anymore. On top of that, because it's no longer in my mind, I'm not going to be interested in playing the campaign. Now, it stops being a problem for game modes like Fiesta, where it's all one individual thing. The Fiesta game list is Fiesta, Slayer, specifically. And, again, that isn't a problem when the Fiesta challenges come up. But you have specifically queued for Team Slayer, which puts you in a different, from my understanding, a different matchmaking queue than Quickplay. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But then you have Ranked Arena. Now, Ranked is a completely different beast. I understand why the matchmaking system is the way that it is, why the game list boils down to different game modes, because you want to have some amount of variety when it comes to the skill of players. Because if it's just Slayer, you might have someone who goes on a tear and just completely annihilates everyone, right? And so they have CTF, Stronghold, Oddball, and Slayer, which is fun. It really is. But there's a better way to do it. And I'll show you what that is right now. And then we have TF2, something I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and because this is a short video, you should still remember what I said, that TF2 has the greatest matchmaking system that I have ever seen for selecting what you want to play. In casual, you are presented with this: a list of all the different game modes in the game. Now, surface level, that doesn't seem too great, because you still have random maps that you have selected here or there. But they implemented this. You can change which maps in each specific game mode that you are wanting to play. And it is amazing. There's no other way to say it. It is amazing. Valve, with this matchmaking system, has blown it so far out of the park that any other game that has even a semblance of not being able to pick which game modes and which maps you want to play on is inferior. That's not to say the games themselves are inferior, because you can have a game that doesn't have this level of matchmaking and still end up in a situation where it's more enjoyable to play that, because this is only one part of a game. Now, I might go into an in-depth analysis of why I like the games that I like in another time, but for now, I'm specifically talking about matchmaking. Now, this has... I come back to TF2 consistently enough because I am able to just go, oh, I don't really want to play anything other than, say, Payload. Hint, hint, it's actually my favorite game mode. We don't talk about it, though. And say, I don't want to play a specific map. Like, I think it's Upward is the one that I don't like. No. It's in the Payload races. Hightower. Payload race maps tend to be very casual, very friendly in nature. But, yeah, if Halo wishes to continue and wishes to remain at all enjoyable for me personally, and I can imagine that other people feel the same about the challenge system, about the matchmaking, just the game in general, this would be a really, really good direction to go. And this would probably, I can't say for certain, because I don't know how they would implement it, this would fix a lot of the player base issues. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to come with the maps. It doesn't have to necessarily come with, all the features that are here. But when you have challenges dedicated to specific game modes, because they don't have them for specific maps, just game modes, you should have some way to directly influence which games you are getting into. So yeah, that's all I got. And, oh, one last thing. The missions in TF2 that you have for classes, for specifically the maps section, I can queue up specifically for, right now, Hightower, Badwater, Gold Rush, Upward, Turbine, 2-4. I can queue up for all of these independently, and if I get into one of them, I can activate the challenge on this. It's a little bit finicky sometimes, but it gets the idea across. In any case, hope you all enjoyed, and I guess we're ending this out with a free item. Oh, it's just a crate. In any case, hope you all enjoyed this little tangent rambling thing that I'm releasing. Hope you all enjoyed. Toodles.